Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Daredevil issue number 27. All right, we're down. Has there been a bad one yet? Has there been a bad one yet? It's like Elektra is now Daredevil. Has there been a bad one yet? It's not going to start with this one. This was pretty good. There's a King in Black tie-in. Keep that in mind. Let's get talking about The Black Kitchen, Part 2. So Chip Zdarsky is the writer, Mark Checheco and Mike Hawthorne on art, Checheco and Adrian Di Benedetto on inks, and Marcio Menez doing the colors. VC's Clayton Cowles on letters, Checheco and Matthew Wilson doing the cover art. There's a variant cover out there. Let's go. All right, this freaking comic book, brah. We start off with the Kingpin, and he's all like really sad. He's depressed, and he's like, "Wah, my city's falling apart around me, and I'm not happy with that, and I'm really sad now." It's like, dude, shut up. Shut your fat ass up, man. Nobody wants to hear that crap. Granted, nobody's saying that stuff out loud because he's the freaking Kingpin. But you know, he's been kind of a punk lately. You know what I'm saying? He's got that super rich family. They're making fun of him. They're treating him like a punk. You know what I'm saying? They got people beating him up and whatnot, and he's just like, can't handle it. And it's just so Granted, later on in the comic book, he's just like, you know what? I'm done with this. Because he's all just like, they warned us, the Avengers. They warned us. Stark told me I should evacuate the city, and I didn't. And Wesley's like, what? No, there was no warning. He's trying to play it. He's trying to spin it, right? There was no warning, and we're really incensed about that because it put the lives of New Yorkers at risk. And he's just like, I'm not even hearing that, Wesley. I'm so mad. You know what? That's it. I'm getting up. And Wesley, I'm going out, and I'm going to kick some booty. And when, like, Kingpin's voice changes like that and he becomes Kingpin again, like over in the Amazing Spider-Man comic books, when he becomes like that, you don't stand in this dude's way. Like, oh, Mr. Mayor, we can't let you do it. There's protocols. We got to keep you in place. He's like, okay, I understand. Which one of you do I have to kill first? I'm like, uh, uh bro, I'm good. That guy over there, he was talking shit about your mom. I'm saying, like, you want to go out? Shoot, I can go for an open face Reuben. You know what I'm saying? You get the sauerkraut, I'll get the car. Like, let's go, bro. I'm not trying to get like when he's simpy wimpy little freaking Fisk. You know what I'm saying? He's like, me. I'm gonna look at my white wall. Me. Yeah, I don't care about that dude. But the guy who's just like, I'm gonna start murdering some people. Of all the characters in the Marvel universe, you know he means it. You know what I'm saying? He's one of the few guys who will give you a warning. You take that warning. So I'm down with that, you know? Now, as far as Daredevil, because that is the title of the comic book, right? Daredevil. Granted, he's wearing orange, but he's still Daredevil. All right? We got the little Shadow King thing. And by the way, I'm just going to point this out. I'm not going to sit here and rag on anybody else who's doing reviews and whatnot, but it's not a review when the very thumbnail that you post is a freaking spoiler. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, have a little bit of. I saw that for the last issue, the previous issue, and that's really frustrating when you actually show in your thumbnail a spoiler of whoever. I'm not here to name names, and I'm sure there was more than one who did it. I just happened to see one. I'm just like, dude, you know what? This freaking guy, like, that's not cool. That's not the way you do things. That's not how we do reviews. That's just a spoiler. In which case, there's no reason for anybody to buy the comic book necessarily, and it's a really cheap way of trying to get people to come over and look at your videos. Just, it is what it is, man. That can't be what we're here for. It just can't be. Anyway, Daredevil, you know, he's got that whole shadow. This is one of the things I couldn't really talk too much about. This is the whole Shadow Kingdom thing going on, the Shadow War. He's got the freaking the black suit around him. It's like, you know, it's almost like his own version of a symbiote. As far as for crying out loud, like Venom. There we go. He's more like a Venom version of Daredevil, because, like, unlike all the other ones who are just like, oh yes, I look like me, but I'm all black now. Daredevil's actually got the big Loki horns going up, and it's like, damn, that actually looks wicked. You know, he looks like, you know, Shadowland version of Daredevil, just ready to whoop on anybody who comes too close to him. The guy who's with him, the guy who looks like Luke Cage from the previous issue, I liked him better in the previous issue because he was more of just, you know, let me tell you about you. You know what I'm saying? I know who I am. Let me tell you about you. But then later on, after he gets it off his chest, every way, especially in this issue that he's drawn, his eyes are really open. I get that he's scared. I get that he's scared. And I hope that's really what they focus on, that that's the reason why he was basically looking like that. Dude, I was terrified. I never thought, I've been in gunfights or whatever the hell this guy's been in before, and I've never been so scared for my life, in my life. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see something like that. Why? Because as I mentioned before, I would really like this guy to essentially be a new version of a consigliere to Matt Murdock, you know what I'm saying, to Daredevil. Even if he doesn't necessarily know his secret identity, whatever, he could be a new Matt Murdock. You know what I'm saying? Like when he's Matt, you got Foggy Nelson. Did I say Matt Murdock? Anyway, when he's Matt Murdock, he's Foggy Nelson. But when Matt is Daredevil, this is over here, he's got this guy. So Foggy and this dude could both kind of be like his consigliere, you know, saying like let me pull you more and let me set you straight on this version of your life, this path of your life. Foggy over here, let me try to set you straight on this path of your life, you know? And never the twain should meet until eventually they do. But there's still the Bering Straits. There's still the Straits of Gibraltar, you know what I'm saying? The salt water and the fresh water, they shouldn't really mix per se. They shouldn't become blended. They shouldn't become one. Even if they have to fight back to back, you know? Foggy got into it a little bit with the War of the Realms when he was rolling with the Punisher, right? We could do that. The point is, I really like the idea of this guy being there to be the guy who's actually trying to keep Daredevil on the straight and narrow, not just Matt, you know? I could see that. But he's got to stop with the whole being afraid of everything thing. He was still doing the thing. It's just his eyes. The whole time I'm seeing this dude's eyes, and I'm like, it's bugging me. Like this guy, somebody whose eyes are that big shouldn't be able to move the way that this guy moves. You see somebody, you know, deer in the headlights moving like that, they're stuck. They're there, and they're going to freeze. And if the adrenaline does kick in for them, all of a sudden they're running. You know what I'm saying? Like they're done. So, yeah. Now, on to Daredevil Part 2, the second Daredevil. Seeing Elektra as Daredevil is cool because she's not. And she's been trying to be Matt, and she's realizing that she's not Matt. She realized that by the end of this, and I dug on that. Once she finally realized, listen, why am I trying to play this like Matt? Because first we've got that ultimate form of character storytelling, telling you who the main character is. The main character is Matt Murdock, but she's Daredevil right now. So when she gets to turn around and start talking, like comparing herself to Matt, we're getting a different character analysis on Matt, right? Elektra is now walking a mile in his moccasins, as it were. So she could say all the things that he does wrong, and now she's also seeing some of the things he does right. And how so she's coming into her own now. We've got character development in characters that have been around for decades. That's a rare thing. That's a very rare thing to see. Leave it to Zardosky to figure a way to do that, right? So when he's sitting there, when she's sitting there and she's like, hey man, I'm not digging this. I know that Matt would just keep on punching the bad guys until they lose because that's who he is. But I'm not him. I'm me. So she allows the main bad girl to leave, to get away. It's like, why would you do that? Well, one, she's Elektra Nacho. She's not Matt Murdock, right? She's a different Daredevil. Two, she understands strategy. It's like, this is a small fish. What am I going to do? Keep on, being distracted with a small fish? Like, that's exactly what winds up happening. Look, when you play chess, yeah, of course, you got to sit there. You got to deal with all the other pieces out there. But sometimes you can find that one or two pieces, really that one piece that's going to outmaneuver everybody else. What's the piece that's going to protect that piece? You got to figure out what's the piece that's going to be able to get in there. And if you don't know by the beginning of the game, good luck figuring it out by the end. You know what I'm saying? The idea is knowing what piece you're going to focus on to get where you're going to get and how you're going to get there based on the opponent's moves. And if the opponent has a really strong offense, well, then you got to figure out a way around that. You know what I'm saying? You look at where the offense is. It can't be spread across the board. If it is, pick them apart. If you got, on one side of the board, you go to the other side of the board because the main objective is not this pawn, that rook, that knight. No, the objective is that king. The queen is just a big distraction. Queen in play. Oh, crap, everybody run. Now you got a queen too, fool. You know what I'm saying? Actually understand how you're going to move your pieces because the objective is the king. And that's the main thing you got to be focused on. And that's the thing that Elektra is focusing on that Matt oftentimes wouldn't. He'd be like, no, I've got to treat this like a video game and beat up all of the little, bad guys they throw at me, the fodder. Then I got to go after each of the mini bosses, and I got to go stage by stage by stage. Remember that old kung fu game? You know what I'm saying? Just boop, 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 till you get to the top, and everybody just does the jump kick and the sweep anyway to win. So I mean, whoever does the reverse punch, yeah, there's no range on that. Anyway, listen, talk about range. What the hell are we seeing here? What the hell are we seeing here? Really? I'll let that go. I'm going to let that one go. Y'all discuss that one. I'm going to talk about the other stuff. Like, really? Anyway, what do you call it? One of the things that's very cool about this is the idea that you have this character analysis where she's recognizing, I need to go after the main guy. I can't be sitting here focusing on all these small potatoes. That's simply not what I need to do in order to win the day. Is Elektra going to win the freaking day? No, Zardowski's not writing this event. But if he were, you would know right away who's going to get that killing blow, right? Like at the end of how long is the final? How long has it been since the final season of Game of Thrones, season 6? I think that was, where can't remember. Excuse me on that one. I can't remember the name of the girl, but the young girl with Sting or Sliver, whatever the hell that little sword was, right? A girl has no name. Well, this girl had a name. The youngest Stark girl. Anyway, when she was going up and she was able to kill the main White Walker dude, yeah, that. You know what I'm saying? That was the last good episode, as far as I'm concerned. That was the last like really great episode. Because the end of that, and she was just like, boom, she got it. I was like, yes. Yes, that right there. That's the one. Like, that's a great moment. If Chip Zdarsky was writing this event, as it were, you'd know right there, oh, she's the one. She's the one that's going to kill the main general. You know what I'm saying? And I really hope that we get to see something like that. I strongly doubt it, but it's just one of those things about Chip. You could see where he's going with the story. You could see the power that he's trying to present. You know what I'm saying? I'm digging on that. Also, I don't know if I'm being stupid by mentioning this. I feel like I'm going to jinx everything. But I mean, Chip, like, the guy was a journalist for the longest time. You know what I'm saying? The guy knows how to write, but he's writing comic books now, and it's different, right? And telling a story is one thing, but actually getting the formulation of the writing down. He's not doing the stuttering thing so much, and I don't think I saw for the most part any of the ... stuff. He's getting a lot better with that, in my humble opinion, as a former university English teacher. I think there's some weight to what I'm saying. He's getting a lot better with his comic book formulary. Everything wasn't, where do I go? What do I do? I'm lost. Yeah, stop, please. Please, like, it's so frustrating to read that. It still did happen a couple times in this, and I just, like, the first time it caught me by surprise, like, oh, crap, there's that crap again. Read right through it. And every time it happened afterwards, I read right through it. But it's getting less. I feel like he's getting more of a hold on it. And it's the idea of trying to find your voice in the different medium that you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Hey, me writing technical manuals is very different from me telling a campfire story. You know what I'm saying? Which is also very different from me running a Dungeons and Dragons game or a Marvel superheroes game. Like, there's a difference in the way that you're going to tell all the different stories that you're going to tell. And it's funny because as great as Chip is with his storytelling, I do still feel he needs some work on getting the scared person's voice down, because one, it's refreshing to see that the man knows how to, well, I don't know that his application is great. Again, I have a problem with his application of it, but he's addressing it. Daredevil's street level. This isn't like the Avengers where you're barely ever going to see or God forbid, the Justice League, where there pretty much is no such thing as collateral damage, because the little people, the gnats, who cares? Whatever. They live, they die, who cares? And this is about Superman defeating Lex Luthor, damn it, and Brainiac, and these are like big time, and there's going to be casualties. So, maybe you don't need to be reading comic books if you can't handle that stuff. And there are goofy people out there who say things like that. It's true. The point is, Chip is actually paying attention to the collateral damage. People die. Somebody died in this issue. And it's like, is that going to be addressed? Oh, it was addressed. Yo, what? I was not expecting that particular death. Is it a major death? Maybe. There was the conversation about somebody being targeted, and I don't think that it was Elektra, even though she thinks it was Elektra. I think there's more like the original X-Men movie where Magneto keeps on saying, "Oh, Wolverine, you think it's all about you, don't you?" It was reference again to the second X-Men movie. Loved it. The book is this title. It's amazing. Aside from that, every so often writing scared people, the way that scared people are written, it's a little frustrating. But recognizing that at least scared people are being written in, normal people who just want to go to their jobs and then go home at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Those people are also being written into the book. And I have to say that really is refreshing. So, again, looking forward to every single issue coming up, because let's show you the cover for the next issue here. Hells yes. Hells yes. I am loving these stories. I really am. Looking forward to the further adventures of Elektra with her Elektra assassin haircut and everything like that. The poof, the New Jersey poof. I'm loving this. Almost everything about this book, dude. Just full steam ahead. Guys, that's about it. I'll talk to you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Can't leave until I say it, can you? Yeah, think about that. Class dismissed.